guess where I am. I think a better question would have been, guess what I'm doing? Because I think it's very obvious that I am in my car. I am on my way to see Holly Black, and I'm so excited. Holly Black, the author of The Cruel Prince, that I have said multiple times is one of my favorite books. She also wrote Spiderwick, which I also love. She's going to be at Parnassus Books in Nashville, Tennessee. And even though I'm not from Nashville, I don't live that far away. So I'm driving to Nashville. Should I wear my crown? I think that would be fun. I think I should wear my crown to the book event. It is technically an event for The Wicked King because that just came out a few days ago. But I already have a signed copy of The Wicked King thanks to Owl Crate. So instead, I am taking my Spiderwick Chronicles, which is the first book by Holly Black I ever read, and I love the Spiderwick Chronicles. So I'm taking that, and I'm hoping to get that signed. I'm so excited, guys. Hello! I am back. It is now the day after the event, and it was amazing. So unfortunately, videoing wasn't allowed at the event, but I do have a lot of photos and I will be showing them throughout this video. And I will be talking, because that's what I do. So one thing that I did learn is that Holly Black is the most quotable woman in existence. She first was interviewed by an interviewer from a bookish newspaper. And one of the things that they talked about was the obvious, Cardan's tale. And to quote Holly Black, who doesn't love a tale? So one of the things that Holly talked about a lot last night that people asked her a lot of questions about was her writing process, and she had some of the most relatable quotes that I've ever heard in my life. One of the things that she said was, "I feel like revising is like cleaning the toilet, you know? It's not like you're gonna make it any worse." I hope everyone else finds that as funny as I did, because I found that really funny. She also said that she doesn't like any part of her writing process and she doesn't want people to try and copy it. Then, in what might have been the most memorable part of the night, she talked about the first book she ever wrote. She said it took her 5 years to write it, and it was just about a bunch of elves sitting on a couch, smoking weed, and drinking coffee. I don't know why she's never published this, but I think we need to start a petition to get her to publish it, because I want to read it. I am calling it the Weed Elves petition, and it is on my Twitter, and you can retweet it if you want. It was so much fun at the event, and it was really funny because I got there. I have to remember how the time change works, because we went across the time change while we were on our way. So I'm gonna be using Nashville time instead of my local time, because that's the only way I can actually figure out where I was. So we got there at around 4 and we went into the bookstore, and you had to purchase a copy of the book to attend the event. So my mom and I both got one. And the book copies that you purchased came with your line ticket, which was how you got in line to see Holly. This is my line ticket and I will never let it go. It is staying with me forever. After we did that, we went right next door is a Chipotle, and I am a huge sucker for their burritos. I love burritos, so we went to Chipotle and we ate. And then we walked back, and while we were eating, they'd set up the chairs where everybody was sitting, and there was only one seat left in the front, and I was lucky enough to get that seat. And my mom actually sat in the row behind me, because I'm not sure I mentioned this, but I hate driving, so I convinced her to go with me so I wouldn't have to drive. And so we got there and we sat down at around 5:15, and the event didn't start until 6:30. So I'm sitting there and I was chatting with some people, and I overheard some people talking that I'm pretty sure were bookstagrammers or maybe booktubers, but I am very shy despite what my videos might suggest, so I didn't talk very much. But I did end up striking up a conversation with the two women that were sitting next to me, so that was fun. And I actually finished The Wicked King as we were sitting in the parking lot right before we went in. I'd been reading it the entire drive since I convinced my mom to drive me. I drove a little bit and then she drove the rest of the way because I absolutely hate driving. That's the whole reason I took her with me. I mean, she also likes Holly Black. Who doesn't like Holly Black? So keep an eye out for my review of The Wicked King because it will be coming out soon, possibly today. And it was amazing. and I cried a little bit inside where it hurts the most. So we're sitting there in the bookstore, and at about 6:15, one of the women from the bookstore comes out, and she was just giving some basic guidelines. And then she goes, "Guys, I gotta tell you," she says, "this is the most successful signing or event that we've ever had at Parnassus. In fact, they sold out of The Wicked King. That's how many people showed up. They completely sold out, and they really didn't seem to know what to do because they obviously were not expecting that." So then Holly came out at about 6:30, and she talked for a while with the interviewer, and then she took audience questions. One of the things that she talked about with the interviewer was the house she grew up in and how it was her grandmother's house, or maybe her great-grandmother, I don't remember which. But she said it was just this old house and it was kind of decrepit and the paint was peeling off the walls. So then when she opened it up to audience questions, I actually raised my hand and asked a question. And the question that I asked was, is the Spiderwick house based on that house? And she said yes. And so I was really excited that I actually got to ask her a question about that. So after about 30 or 45 minutes of audience questions, they started lining up for the book signing line, and I was section E, so I was further ahead than a lot of people, and even then I didn't get to see Holly until I think it was about 9:30 Nashville time. So the first thing that I pulled out when I sat down was this. I've had it for years. It's a boxed set of the Spiderwick Chronicles, and as you can see from the photos, Holly was really excited by it. And she actually told me the story about this box. The story behind this box set is they always knew they wanted to release the books in this set box from the time they saw a mock-up of what it looked like, but they couldn't afford to have it published in this box, and they actually had to wait until the movie came out. This photo that's on the screen right now is possibly the most exciting part of the event, because as I was leaving, this woman comes running up to me and she hands me her business card, and she goes, "I'm Holly's publishing agent, and I wanted to know, can you please send me that picture of Holly opening your box, because I really want it." And so I actually sent it to her this morning, and I was really excited that she asked for the picture of Holly and I. So I get this box out, and Holly immediately, as you can see from the photos, opens it. And I said, you know, I'd kind of like if you maybe signed book 1. And she looks at me and she goes, "I'll sign them all, it's no trouble." And she actually did. She signed every single book, including the little ones. Book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, book 5. So then in our mini books, this is volume 1. Here is volume 2, and here is volume 3. One of the questions that a member of the audience asked her during the Q&A was what was her favorite outfit out of all the outfits that she has designed for her characters. And she said that her favorite was one of the ones that Jude has that's an armor-like dress. But when I was talking to her, I said, you know, when you answered that, when somebody asked you that question, I immediately knew what my answer would be if someone asked me what my favorite Holly Black outfit was. I have always adored this. It's one of Mallory's outfits from the Spiderwick Chronicles, and now I really, really want to do a cosplay because I have a wig that would work. One of the things that I told her was that Spiderwick was the first series that I ever really read to myself. And she actually remembered that I told her that because my mom was right behind me, and so when my mom sat down, she turns to my mom and she goes, "So you read these with her?" And my mom says, "No, she read them all to herself." And Holly was so flattered by that. I've kind of alluded to it several times, but she's one of the most genuine, nicest people I've ever met. She was so patient, and she gave everyone time. She sat and talked with them. She really made everyone feel special and important. And she was very excited by my tiara and my owl crate scarf. She recognized it. So after we geeked out over Spiderwick for a while, I of course had her sign a copy of The Wicked King. She both signed and personalized it for me, and she even commented on how pretty my name was and how she liked the spelling. And then the final part, and to me possibly the coolest, was she asked if I wanted the box signed, and she says she has a silver Sharpie to do that. So she signed my box with a silver Sharpie. And so now I just have to meet Tony Dirizelli and get him to sign it. So as you may know, a lot of tours have exclusive artwork for that tour that you can only get if you meet the author on that tour. This is the exclusive artwork from the Wicked King tour. It's Cardan and Jude, and it is, as you can see, it's shiny, and it is so, so, so pretty. It's been sitting on my bookshelf, and it will never leave. Here we have the back of it. It's a quote from Cardan, "Kiss me until I am sick of it." It's from the Wicked King. Meeting Holly was so fantastic. She's such a nice person. And she's just so funny, and it's so nice to sit and listen to her. I could listen to her talk forever. I could sit here and gush about how much I love Holly Black for another hour, but I really need to wrap this up because I don't think you guys want to listen to me fangirl and squeal for another hour. So I'm gonna work on my review of The Wicked King. If you watch this after my little credit image, I will have some things that I posted from my Instagram stories, some updates that had to do with The Wicked King, just all of the stories that I posted about that. And then just thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day. If you look behind me here, you'll see my little shrine to Holly Black. I've got her Modern Fairy Tale series, I have The Cruel Prince. This is the official tour artwork, I'll show it off in a minute. This is the Spiderwick Chronicles, this is from Owl Crate, and this is my custom Jude Funko Pop that I made.